وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُوا عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَإِذَا غَرَبَتْ تَقْرِضُهُمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَهُمْ فِي فَجْوَةٍ مِّنْهُ ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ مَنْ يَهْدِهِ اللَّهُ فَهُوَ الْمُهْتَدِي وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَلَنْ تَجِدَ لَهُ وَلِيًّا مُرْشِدًا. Suratul-Kahfi, Surah number 18, ayat number 17. This verse is interesting. Let's proceed. Wa and tara, you know. So all the translations have translated as you see, but the word used is not basara, but is a derivative of ra'a. It's the present form of ra'a, which is yara, and the second person form is tara, which means to know. That the same thing, by the way, is mentioned about the moon, ru'ya. It's not moon sighting, and that topic I have discussed elsewhere in this channel itself, as well as in other places in a separate lecture. It means to have the knowledge of the moon. That can be through sighting or otherwise. Even if it is sighting, it can be through naked eye sighting or through aided eye sighting, telescope, etc. Or it can be through astronomy or calculations. Anything is allowed. That's why the word used is not basara but ra. So I have translated watara, and you know, by seeing is implied in this case, because let's proceed. We'll understand. Ashamsa is the object, and you know the sun by seeing the sun, and you know by seeing the sun. Iza tala'at, when it rises. You can say tala'at is past tense. No. The word iza forces the past tense meaning fa'ala, iza fa'ala, to present tense meaning. That's a standard Arabic construct. You know that iza ja'a nasrullahi wal fath. You can refer to that verse as well. When it rises, what happens at that time? Tazawaru. Very interesting word. Now, almost all the translations have translated it, or rather, I should say, all the translations have translated it something like it inclines away, something like that. But the primary meaning is sort of an exchange of visit. When you visit someone and that person visits you back. So that is the primary meaning. The secondary meaning is inclined, that is okay. So now both the meanings have to be sort of brought together. It slightly inclines away during its exchange of visits. Then it says, al-Kahfi. So round about their cave, Zat al-Yamini, towards the right. So it's now giving a description of the cave. So when the sun rises, it slightly inclines away round about the cave towards the right. It rises in the right. So east is on the right hand side, right? So much is clear. This is interesting. This is important. We will get to know why in a while. We'll get to know. So then it says, then it proceeds, what is the, and there are more to this part of the verse itself, but we will come back to it. What is the gharabat, and when it sets, okay, what happens? Takriduhum, it bypasses them, and thereby doing a favor to them. It bypasses and thereby doing a favor to them. Why I have added in brackets will become clear just in a while. Zata ashimali. Okay, during exchange visit, declining towards the left. Now, takriduhum again. So this part, what is the gharabat takriduhum zata shimali? Zata shimali is towards the left. That's fine, but takriduhum, this part. The primary meaning is to, what should I say? Is to pass. It also connotes declining away. So those connotations are there. And so the declining away and passing, the primary meaning is actually, these two coming together. Declining away and passing. So the verbal form, the primary meaning is passes or bypasses in this case. That's the best way to translate. And a secondary meaning associated with the same word of this verbal form is sort of to decline or similar. So what does it now say? And it sets, and when it sets, it bypasses and thereby doing a favor to them during its return visit, declining towards the left. So now it's setting towards the left. That's on the west. So if it's rising in the right and setting, rising towards the right and setting towards the left, east and west, where am I facing? I'm facing towards the north. This is important and why it will become very clear in a while as I will proceed with the explanation. Okay. وَهُوَ فِي فَجْوَةٍ مِنْهُ. While this vow is not and, this vow is vow halia, while وَهُمْ فِي فَجْوَةٍ مِنْهُ, while they are in fajwatin minhu. Fajwatin is an open space, minhu from it, from a part of it. So in that cave, in a part of the cave, in that cave, a part of it, it is there is an open space and it is there, they are in that state, right? Not asleep, I've explained that before, but they're in a specific state in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put them. Then it says, very interesting choice of words, very beautiful. ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. That is from the signs of Allah. I mean, okay, the movement of the sun is being described over here. Where is the sign of Allah? I can't see any sign of Allah over here. So we need to go deep to be able to understand this, which I will do after I run through the entire translation. Then it says, فَهُوَ, where is it? Okay. ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. Man yahdi Allahu. So is sort of natural. There is no so over here. It's the next part of the ayah, right? So I've just added for the English translation to look sort of more sensible. So whoever yahdi Allahu, Allah is the subject. Allah would guide. Allah guides, so Allah would guide. This is the present future tense used. What happens to them? فَهُوَ الْمُقْتَدِي. Then the translations suggest then he is guided. That is not correct. Then he is, it's in the file pattern, then he is the one who is truly committed to guidance. That emphasis inbuilt into the verbal pattern itself. Then he is guided is wrong. Okay, why? Because he is guided. He guides and he is guided. That's passive. This is not passive pattern. This is the file pattern. Then he is the one who is truly committed to guidance. That's why. So these nuances, a running translation in the English language seems okay, but when you are able to interpret it absolutely in the way Allah has intended the meaning for us, then the meaning becomes so much more profound. That is what we're trying to do. And we're not trying to criticize translations. What we're trying to do is to highlight the usage of the choice of words which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used through proper Arabic linguistics, the Quranic Arabic, the language, the grammar. Then he is the one who is truly committed to guidance. Okay? And the last part, وَمَنْ يُذْلِلْ. So the same root word, ضَلَّ, وَلَا ضَلِّينَ, the same root word is there in the present form. وَمَنْ يُذْلِلْ. وَمَنْ يُذْلِلْ is okay. I mean, that's the tajweed rule, but we are breaking it deliberately. وَمَنْ يُذْلِلْ. Now, most of the, I mean, again, I think all of the translations, this suggests something similar, that, and whoever Allah, so because the previous passage, whoever Allah guides, they translate whoever Allah misguides. That is wrong in so many ways, because the root word here used is different, and Allah guides, agreed. Allah does not misguide anyone. He does not misguide. He is not an agent of misguidance. And we have heard that translation so many times that we naturally tend to say that, and that the choice of words we use against Allah is so massively wrong. And so the correct translation is whoever he would let be lost. So when someone is lost, there is external agent, he himself or she herself are to blame. He himself is to blame, right? So that is what is happening. And whoever he would let, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would let be lost because of their own obstinate rebellion, what happens to them? So you can understand why the choice of words is so important and why the choice of words in the translation is so important. Here it is law. Okay, misguided is definitely wrong. Whoever Allah misguides, whoever Allah leads astray is also wrong. Because astray, though slightly lesser in emphasis, it still implies an external agent, which in itself is wrong, though to a lesser degree. Not actively, maybe passively, or even if it is active to a lesser extent, but even that choice is wrong. They're lost. If I am lost, I am the one to blame. So that is what is being mentioned. And whoever he would let be lost, for whatever reason, because of their own obstinate rebellion, is the understanding. Then what happens? Let's see. For then, lan is no negation, so we'll withhold that part of the translation till we find it an appropriate place to insert it back. Tajida, you will find. So you will not find or you will never find. Because of the construct itself, the word never is sort of the correct emphatic choice of word. You will never find lahu for him. For whom? For that person whom Allah has let be lost. Left him, left her. Okay, you be lost, you get lost. Doesn't matter. Because of your own obstinate rebellion, if you choose that path, okay, go on that path. I will not stop you. This life is a test for the hereafter. For him, for lahu, for him, waliyan, murshidan. Now this is also sifa, noun, adjective. So we'll translate the adjective first. So anyway, waliyan is protective friend and murshidan is guide, a guide. So when we put that in an adjective and noun pattern, in that order in the English language, you will translate like guiding protective friend. Then you will never find for him any guiding protective friend. That's the full translation. Now, there are so many things that can be added to it. I'm itching to add all those things, but it will become very long. So I'll try to do justice, albeit shortly. So if you look at the English translation, and you know by seeing the sun when it rises, it slightly inclines away during its exchange of visits round about the cave towards the right, and when it sets, it bypasses and thereby doing a favor to them. This is important. This is not a beautification of the sentence. I've not done that. I've done that for a reason. It and bypasses them and thereby doing a favor to them during its return visit. Okay, it's inclining towards the right and inclining towards the left. It's not like that, right? Declining towards the left. Inclination, I mean, because it's setting, I've used the word decline. That's fine. It bypasses and thereby doing a favor to them during its return visit, declining towards the left. What is happening is, so it's the beauty of the language used. It's the beauty of the choice of words used. There's a shyness involved. So you're coming to visit a friend as if the son is coming to visit his friends. And then in the return visit, which again, instead of them coming to the son again makes the return visit as well. And it bypasses them and they were doing a favor to them as well. What is happening over here? What is happening? First of all, it gives us a hint about some important geographical aspects related to the cave, which is important for us. So apparently, there is an opening in the cave, and that opening is in the north, right? I mean, not apparently, it's obvious from the choice of words used. The sunrise is in the right, which is the east. The sunset is in the left, which is the west. I'm looking towards the north.
Low battery.
That is the direction
Please
of
charge.
the cave. And apparently the cave is huge. And in the open, so a part of the open space, it is where Allah has put them in a specific state. And then it says, which I said that I'll come back to it later, that is from the signs of Allah. What is it? What is it? What is the sign of Allah in this? Some movement of the sun is being described. And had I not told you that it is to indicate the direction in which the opening of the cave is, you would not even have decoded that. So what is the sign of Allah? The sign of Allah is that had the opening been in the south, where the sunlight falls on them directly, would the chances of passerby looking at them and finding them increase, or what would happen? would certainly increase. So by placing the opening of the cave, or letting them, when they decided to be in a cave, by helping them or guiding them towards this cave where the opening was in the north, direct sunlight was not falling on them. There was diffuse sunlight, so the chances of because they had escaped from the clutches of the oppressive polytheist king, you see, and from the people and from their own community as well, who all of them had become
Low
polytheists
battery.
under the pressure of
Please
whatever
charge.
reason, but they had become polytheists. They had been shirk, right? They were worshipping Allah, but they were worshipping other gods in addition to worshipping Allah, other false gods, right? So that chance of, so if the king were to send his army or a team or people to in a hunt to search for them, then the chances are reduced because of this structure, because of this geography, because of this the structure of the cave that we are coming. Second point. The second point is also important. They're in that state. Had direct sunlight been falling up on them, it would have caused them discomfort. But because there is diffuse sunlight, it is not considering there is no discomfort as such on them, but the sunlight that is necessary for us, which is beneficial for us, that diffuse sunlight is reaching them. And point number 3, so it is not called, obviously it's not called
Low
photosynthesis,
battery.
but it's called
Please
photosynthesis.
charge.
And so vitamin D and other sort of things. If Allah wanted, He could have done it without any phenomena. But He does not do that. It is in His nature to make things happen as a natural course of action through natural phenomena. So He is creating those mechanisms for that. And the third is, you have to know the location of the cave, or the history of that time and the specific cave. So the main road happened to be on this side, on the southern side, and there was no opening on the southern side. There was no pathway as such. There was a hilly track. Hardly anyone would use that track. Why would you use? Because when main road on this side, so someone going up the track, the chances are minimal. But even if you happen to go on that track, because the aperture, the opening of the cave is towards the north and no direct sunlight, the chances of finding them out is further reduced.
Low battery.
All of these factors
Please charge.
have been beautifully put and highlighted. One was the issue of the visits and the exchange of visits and the shyness and the sun as if it's visiting the old friends, and instead of them visiting them back, the sun again makes a visit and doing a favor. So all this phototropism, the chance of them being found out by the king, all of these, and because of that, this part of the verse, ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ, it becomes so profound. That is from the science of Allah. And also the direction of the cave's opening, and the phototropism, and all of the stuff. And also this part, and whoever He would let be lost, not whoever He would misguide. So it's amazing, right? So one last time we'll break it up, the Arabic, and then we will read the free-flowing running translation in the English language.
Low battery. Please charge.
تزاوروا عن كهفهم ذات اليمين وإذا غربت تقرضهم ذات الشمال وهم في فجوة منه ذلك من آيات الله من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. And by seeing the sun when it rises, it slightly inclines away during its exchange of visits round about the cave towards the right. And when it sets, it bypasses, and thereby doing a favor to them during its return visit, declining towards the left, while they are in an open space from a part of it. That is from the signs of Allah. So whoever Allah would guide, then He is the one who is truly committed to guidance. And whoever you would let be lost because of their own obstinate rebellion, then you will never find for him any guiding, protective friend. That's it then. But I want to say, okay, I have put in a lot of extra words, and all of those words are necessitated. But one thing I sort of will tell you, I'll agree. Okay, to translate this is so difficult. We have tried our best to do justice to the Arabic text. I understand that, because if you read the translation, that would still be deficient. If you read the translation and hear this explanation in full, then it becomes so much more profound. I agree with that. But the translations that exist, they are not even able to capture the nuance, not even a part of it, not even a little bit of it. That is what hurts. So that is what I wanted to say. There's no criticism as such, but that is the sad reality. The sad reality. We have to live by that. So we have to make our attempt to understand the Arabic text.
Low battery. Please charge.
That's our purpose. And secondarily, rendering it in a language, in English in this case, in a translation, by a choice of words which tries to do justice to the Arabic text. That's it then. We'll continue.